Hello world, it's Dr. Donovan Cross. And now, an alien will read the Bible.
I'm going to try something different. I want to look at the Bible, religion, spirituality, life from a different perspective. Have you ever really read the Bible all the way through? We're going to find every weird verse, take it apart. Did you ever wonder where the Bible came from? From the stone codex all the way to the book you now hold in your hand? How many thousands of years, how many different authors worked to put this complete package into your hand? Take a moment to think about how we got from those stone codexes to this goat herder's guide to the galaxy. First, I want to take a moment to welcome everyone to this video. Believers, non-believers, and those of a different faith entirely. Although I may offend, that is not my goal. My goal is to seek the truth. I want to open the comments to all. Please feel free to state your opinion, but be respectful. If you find this information entertaining and informative, please subscribe and like, because if I get a good response, I'll do more videos like this. Here we go. In the beginning. Wait, stop. Have you ever thought about how we got to the Bible? We now have this wonderfully written piece of literature. The Bible is the #1 best-selling book forever. But I wonder how many of those people who buy it ever even read it. Do they leave it sitting on their shelf? Or do they take it down and read it word by word, as we are going to do now? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The beginning. Is there a beginning before God? Or the beginning and God were at the same time? It's curious to wonder what the beginning is here. And in the beginning, God created the heaven. Is that heaven the same place we go when we die? Or is that just what you see when you look up? And the earth. It's interesting how our planet is named after dirt, but all the other planets are named after old Roman or Greek gods. I found something interesting I want to show you. I'll turn it off and start from the beginning again. If you go to Google and you type in Genesis 1:1, I've already done it, but you would have to spell out Genesis 1:1. And you go over here to good old Wikipedia. You can see it brings up Genesis 1:1 for us. Let me zoom out for you. And it gives you a bunch of different things here. But what's most interesting is it gives you word by word in the Hebrew what it is. The entire Genesis 1:1. If you take this right here and you copy it, then you open another tab, and you can type and notice I've already done this, but I'm doing it beginning from the beginning for you. Look at that. In the first place in heaven. Now, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. But in the first place in heaven, it's pretty close. It's not the same. It's interesting how that translates. I also learned that we can there we go. So Genesis 1:2 in a similar fashion. And again, we get the same thing. And we get this nice Hebrew text here. And we get each individual word. You can also take this right here and copy it. And then go here. And go... I'm doing it all over again just to make sure that you know that I'm putting the right things in there. I'm putting some, because I don't want to get something else. Now, so the second verse is, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So we took this and copied it and had Google translated into English for us. It says, and the earth was wondering and starring, a dark by the abyss, and the wind of God floating by the water. Interesting. It's pretty close. I try to keep on going with this, but it's weird. Like, if you do Genesis 1:3, then Wikipedia doesn't continue to do the same thing, so you can try it for yourself. But another thing that's interesting is, how many of you have heard the story of Tiamat? Marduk and Tiamat. I'll leave you to research this on your own, but I'll tell you a paraphrase. So Marduk and Tiamat were Babylonian gods before the Bible was ever written. So you have, if you go back and find all of the old books, you have the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's like the oldest story we ever have. It was on stone tablets also, just like the Bible. I recommend you read it. But it was written about 4,000 years ago. The first books of the Old Testament were written about 3,000 years ago. And around the times of the Epic of Gilgamesh, you'll find the stories of Tiamat and Marduk. So Tiamat was a god. Marduk was a god. They got into a fight. Marduk ripped Tiamat in half, and from the top half created heaven, and the bottom half created earth. So it's interesting if you take this again as Genesis 1:2, and it reads, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. And you come here as every individual word. Well, about the sixth word in here is Tihom. If you click on this word, you get Wikipedia bringing you up Tihom for you. And you start to read. Tihom, literally, the deep or abyss. Greek, I'm going to read Greek, refers to great, deep, primordial waters. Creation of the Bible. Tihom is conjugate, or the... anyways, which have a similar meaning, as such equivalent to the earlier Sumerian Tiamat. In modern Arabic, Tiamat refers to a whole coastal plain of the Red Sea. And if we click on Tiamat here, actually that's here, we'll find the region ancient Babylonian, the primordial goddess of the sea, the salt sea, the god of fresh water, and the produce younger gods. She is a symbol of chaos and primordial creation. So we go back to King James Version here. We go back here, we find Tiamat, a mythological concept translated as the deep. So the deep was Tiamat. So we have, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of Tiamat, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. It's just a little interesting. It's like, have you taken apart the Bible in that depth? What does that mean? Why do we have this old Babylonian god in the Hebrew translations? I just find that very interesting. Let's go on. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day and the darkness night. So what do you think? Do you like it so far? Have you found this entertaining, interesting? What should we do next? Should we continue reading word by word, discussing, having commentary on every little thing? I might find that interesting, but I don't know if it would get a little boring. I don't want to read every single word, but if that's what you want, please let me know in the text and I'll keep going word by word. But I think the next video I'm going to do will be the next verse I find very strange or interesting. That's the next one. So like and subscribe, and you'll get a little, and then click on the notification bell if you want to be notified when I get the next video. And that next video will be my opinion of the first very weird verse in the Bible. Maybe they're all weird, but I'm going to try and find you a particularly weird one, just to get your attention, something that you had no idea was in the Bible, unless you're like me and you've already studied all this stuff. Like I said, tune in next time for another interesting episode of an alien reading the Bible.